Hello, alive again. It's me, Katrinah, and today is day 89 of our journey through the Bible in a year. And today we're reading Joshua 22, 23, and 24. I'm going to focus mostly today on chapter 22 and what happened there. So all the people were receiving their inheritance and their permanent homes in the promised land, except for the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. So essentially, these people had said earlier on, if you remember, that they wanted to stay on the eastern side of the Jordan. They liked the land, it's where they wanted to be. But they promised to help fight for the promised land, and then they would go. So they did that, and now it's time for them to return to the eastern side of the Jordan. And so Joshua was sending them on their way, and he said to them, "Turn and go to the land where your possession lies. Only be careful to observe the commandment. Love the Lord your God, walk in all his ways, keep his commandments, and cling to him, and serve him with all of your heart and with all of your soul." So with that, they went to the eastern side of the Jordan, the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, which means just half of the tribe of Manasseh. And they went and made their home there. And when they were there, they built an altar, it says an altar of imposing size. And when the people of Israelites heard about it, it says they gathered to make war against them. Well, why do they want to make war against them for building an altar? Because they thought either they were building this altar to worship other gods, or they were gonna do all their sacrifices at this altar here, which was not what God had commanded. And they were afraid that this was a rebellion, that they were either making enemies of themselves against God, or even worse, making enemies of all of the Israelites against God. And they were like, don't do that to us. And so they gathered, it says they gathered at Shiloh to make war against them. And what they decided to do was send a group of chiefs to go and speak to them. And so they went over there and they talked to them and they said, why have you done this? Why have you built this altar? Don't make rebels to God of yourselves or of us. They said, if you've already made your land unclean, then come and take a possession from among us. And the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh said, that's not what we're doing. We did this as a witness for future generations because we've separated ourselves geographically from the rest of you. And we want for all future generations to know we are also part of this. We are also part of the people of God. We are also Israelites. And so in future generations, we don't want your children saying to our children, you're not a part of this. You're not a part of us. And they can point to this altar. And they said, we made this altar as a witness, essentially to say, we did this together. We live here now, but we were all in this together. And so the people of Israel were pleased with that. And they were like, okay, fine, fair. But something that really stuck out to me was it says that the people of Israel assembled and gathered to make war against them. And then immediately the next thing it says is they went and they said, okay, if you have, if you have sullied your land, just come back and take a possession from among us, from our land. You can come in there. They were in part protecting themselves from the wrath of God, but they didn't want their brothers to do that, to make an enemy of themselves. So it says we're going to make war, but really they just went and offered come live with us, come stay with us. Like, you don't need to be an enemy of God. And then they got it all sorted out because that wasn't what was going on. But how often do people or groups of people just get ready to make war without going and having a conversation? You know, it's good that they went and spoke first before they went and decided to go start a war, because it was really all just a misunderstanding. So that really, that stuck with me today in the reading. So I hope you all have a great week. I'll see you back this time next week. And keep on going. There's so many good lessons. And God is still, to this day, using his word to speak to his people. Bye.